Alright, if you saw the video where I got a free airsoft gun, this is it, the CYMA P.187. Now, the box, you know, people obsess about the box. I've already learned that before. It has some nicely translated Chinese to English. Flight 20 feet more than. Alright. And then it says, let you throw in the conjecture combat inside. Okay. The best product comes from this product. Okay, they need some new translators. I mean, even Google Translate could give you better results. But anyway, so, you know, beautiful box, whatever. Now let's get inside. What you'll get with your P.187 is the manual, of course. It has the funny cartoons as usual. You know, it gives you instructions on how to use a gun if you've never used it before. What's funny is one of the cartoons even says part of the instructions is to read the instructions. Nice. What you get is a small pack of 0.2 gram BBs. I mean, not 0.2, 0.12s. I could tell, I didn't weigh them, but I shot some 0.2s out of this gun, and they went less than these. And these are not very accurate either. Don't use 0.12s with this gun. The hop-up is way too strong and makes it go boo! And straight up, or for some reason my hop-up's a little bit to the left, which you'll see when I shoot this thing later. So you get some 0.2s. They're actually pretty good. I looked at them, I don't see any seams or anything. I still wouldn't use them in an AEG or a gas blowback, but it's good for this gun, you know. So you get that, and you get the gun, of course. First things first, this gun is very heavy. That's what's interesting about it, and most of the weight is in this magazine. It has a large metal weight on the inside. Just some scrap metal, I guess. Yours may or may not come with that, though, because, I don't know, maybe they just had some metal laying around. As you can tell, it greatly resembles a Glock 18c. That is what this gun is based off of. Just for a little thing, though, the fire selector is permanently stuck on fully automatic, and you cannot move it. But as far as the body goes on this gun, it is entirely plastic. On the outside. On the inside, it is mostly metal parts. Only a few parts that don't need to be metal or plastic. It has the ventilation up here. On the real 18C, the barrel will be serrated. I'm thinking about doing that myself. If you can see here, yeah. The barrel sticks out a little bit more than usual. That is due to the orange tip. Which I painted because I hate orange tips and I'm smart enough not to bring this thing in public. You have a rail system up here which will let you put flashlights, lasers, that kind of thing. I wouldn't do it though. In my opinion, it ruins the overall look of this gun. It's very hard to find Glock airsoft guns ever since the lawsuit that Glock had with some manufacturers. So ever since that happened, Glocks have been hard to come by. And this one is spring, as it probably said in the title already. Pull it back, you know. It does have slide lock, that's pretty cool. Part of how it does that, I don't know why companies don't do this more often. On the magazine, if you can see that, yes you can. It has a little tiny thing right there. And it basically just pushes up on your magazine release whenever it's empty. So it's like really simple. I don't know why they don't do that more often. And it makes a pretty good sound whenever you pull the slide back. Yeah. So everything about this gun is accurate towards the real Glock, except for a few things. Even like in realism, these pins right here, even like where this gun is pinned together, is accurate to a real Glock. You could go look for yourself on a YouTube video of a real Glock, and it will have these pins right here. It's crazy. It does, the grips and everything are the same. It even has the same spots for logos, except it doesn't have Glock because this gun is not licensed. As you can see, it would say Glock 18c 9mm on the slide, but it does not. And it says CYMA right here, which is the company that made it, obviously. and that would say Glock as well. This space right here where it says made in China would say, oop, there we go, or it says made in China, it would say Glock again. And down here where it says P.187, it would say 18c on the real firearm. It even has this little tiny slot thingy right here. I'm not even exactly sure what it's called. Somebody's going to yell at me for calling it a slot thingy. But it's on almost all of the Glock pistols, and I have no idea what that is. But it's on here. That's the important thing. So it is extremely well scaled on the realism. One thing, it does not come apart like the real Glock. Extremely similar, but not exactly the same. The real Glock, you would just pull your disassembly levers. Yes, these are disassembly levers. People say they're hop-up adjusters, which is not true. This gun has a fixed hop-up. No idea where they got that idea from, but whatever. On the real one, you just pull the slide back slightly, pull those down, it would come off. But on this gun, it's slightly different, which I'll do for you right now. So as far as taking that gun down goes, so you pull back the slide, make sure you have the magazine in. That's the odd thing. Most guns you need to take the magazine out to disassemble them. This one you need it in. It makes it easier. You're going to lock the slide back like this. Keep holding it upside down, I don't know why. You're going to pull out this back portion right there. See this little back plastic lid thing? You're going to take that out. I've taken mine out a lot, so it's easier to pull out. You might need a knife or something to pull that out. There you go. Sounded like I broke it, but I didn't, trust me. There's your back portion, and you can see the piston. What you want to do, and this is key, what people always want to do is release the slide and shoot the gun, which is not a good idea to do with that back portion missing. What I recommend you do is you pull down the slide release and pull the trigger, so you decompress the spring instead of just firing it with this back part removed. And then what you're going to do once you have that done, you're going to pull down on these two pins on either side of the gun, and your slide comes off nice and easy like that. Let's take it off. As far as the bottom portion of the gun goes, your spring is quite small. It's not the biggest spring. I was expecting more, because this gun shoots pretty far. Shoots farther than my Desert Eagle, because it just has better hop-up. You can stretch that if you want to for more power. I have slightly, but if you stretch it too much, you'll screw it up. You can see this entire spring, and where it releases the piston, I'm pulling the trigger, you can see how that works there, is metal. This right here is nice cold metal, not sure what kind though. Check out this magazine. If you can see the slide release mechanism right up in here, and the trigger mechanism is metal. There you go, you can see it. There you go. This little portion right here, all the trigger mechanism is metal. So all the important stuff is metal. That's the frame. Now for the slide, you have your recoil spring, which in a Glock 18c or Glock 17 looks exactly like this, like no joke. That's where they got some realism in there. And from here, this is looking at your slide from back down here, you can take out your piston and piston head. You might want to lube this up for some better power. Put some grease in here. And your barrel. And again, on a real Glock, this looks pretty much exactly the same. Again, with the realism, this is pretty cool. If you can see this frontal portion of the barrel where it has a line right here, is orange when you first get it. If you saw my unboxing video, you know what I mean. As far as putting this back together is quite simple. Slip your barrel in first. Leave it forward, don't put it all the way in yet. Put in your piston. This is why I didn't put in the barrel all the way. Push your barrel in. Well, I have the piston in upside down. Wow, I am smart. You want this little flange thing pointing at you whenever you're doing this. There we go. Put your barrel in. The spring guide is a pain in the recoil spring, sorry, is a pain in the butt. I really can't show you with this camera, but it rests on a very small portion of the internals in here, and it's just a pain in the butt to put this thing on. So once you have all that back in order, going to take your lower assembly here, put your firing spring back on. Now I recommend doing it this way. It's a lot easier, just to me, is to do this upside down so all this doesn't fall out. You take the frame and slide it on this way. It's kind of hard for you guys to see, but to make it where you guys can see well would make it hard for me to put this back on. Ah, crap. Come on. Alright, here we go. Then you're going to want to insert your magazine real quick so it locks back. We're going to take your plastic back piece again, slide it back in there, and you're ready to go. That's what it sounds like. It does not sound like that when you fire it for real, though. That's one thing I did notice about this gun, is when you dry fire it and fire it with BB in it, it sounds completely different. So that's, I think I've gone over everything really, on the actual looks and how to disassemble the gun. Oh yes, your safety. The real Glocks do not have this safety. In fact, real Glocks do not have a manual safety. They have a trigger safety, which is a little trigger on the inside of this trigger. So you have to pull the trigger entirely and not just. But this gun does not feature that. If you can see in here, this can be the hardest thing for you guys to see. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, okay, right there. This little tiny knob right here. Slide it over. It's on safe. You can't pull the trigger. Slide it back. Come on. Okay. You can pull the trigger. So, I've basically gone over everything. I'm going to do the little shooting test.